I'll start again. Everybody settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. Both feet flat on the floor. And now I'm going to about hips width apart. So some of you may have your legs, your feet underneath your legs. Just feel the weight of your sits bones in your chair and your hands in your lap, and align your shoulders with your hips and your ears with your shoulders. And imagine your spine is a beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up to the crown of the head and beyond. And just imagine you're lengthening your spine. And just go to the crown of the head and relax your scalp and the forehead and the eyes and the back of the eyes and your nose and your cheeks, the area around your mouth, back of the tongue. Relax your jaw, your temples and your ear. Relax the back of the head. Just put some length in the back of your neck and allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. And relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. Just allow everything to soften. And then bringing your attention to the breath, notice the sensation of the air as you inhale and exhale through the nostrils. Notice the sensation of the breath around the chest cavity and around your belly as the belly rises and falls. And then be aware of any distractions, any potential distractions in your environment. So, if you're living in a city, there's going to be this constant hum of traffic and people, and maybe even vibration of people in your apartment or the next apartment. Maybe you have pets in your apartment or your house, your home. And Shrey's in his office in Australia, so there may be some kind of, it's the middle of the day there, so there may be sort of activity around. And then, so whatever distractions there are in your environment, just try and allow them for the next, 25, 25 minutes, just to allow them to be there, trying not to follow with the mind. And that includes any potential notifications on your screen. And then just be aware of what's in your mind this evening. Just allow all the thoughts to arise and abide. Just allow them to dissolve. So rather than following the mind into the story, just allow the thoughts to bubble up without you having to do anything at all. Just allow them to be there and try not to judge what's in your mind. And then be aware of all the people of our life, our loved ones, strangers, the ones we have aversion for. And however we're feeling about anybody at any particular time, because these relationships can change due to impermanence. All of the people are still, they're just equal. They're the same as you and me. They want to be happy. They don't want to suffer. And they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So I just think we'll do this practice this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all the sentient beings. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so, having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot, and his arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we've ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result in suffering for them in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to this power of remedy, and this is the actual medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mepiyatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mepiyatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahom pe. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mepiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahom pe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mepiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahom pe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mepiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahom pe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mepiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. Excuse me, so be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with the body. And next is the purification of your speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mepiyatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahom pe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta me boa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kamasita me. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Me Mutta Vajra Bhawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bhawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bhawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sabosidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bhawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, sutokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mepiyata sawa kama me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe, vajrasattva samayam manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, jida meboa, sutokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa sawasidi mempiyata sawa kama me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sattva hum. Hey. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And that really does include yourself. So next is the purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you imagine the light from Vajrasattva's heart kind of comes around and hits your heart chakra, and imagine instantaneously all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment and neediness and anger and depression, resentment, jealousy, and bitterness, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Me Sitam Triyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta me boa sawasidi me piyata sawa kamasita me. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Ambhadrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time, imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. So you imagine the nectar flows down and pushes out all the negativity of the body, and then the nectar flows up, pushing out all the negativity of the speech, and then the light comes and just blasts all of the delusions. And imagine this is all happening simultaneously. And in this way, you eradicate even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. Vajrasapa samayam manupalaya Vajrasapa dina patita Jida meboa Situkaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa samayam manupalaya Vajrasapa dina patita Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe, Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, Vajrasapa dina patita, Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya Vajrasapa dina patita Jida meboa Situkaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya Vajrasapa dina patita Jida meboa Situkaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya Vajrasapa dina patita Jida meboa Situkaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya Vajrasapa dina patita Jida meboa Situkaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa Sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process, and it's a really crucial one. And this is the determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And so without this determination, we're just going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. same old habits. So this determination, this aspiration to refrain from harming is like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So, you just think of something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. Could be a very small thing, could be a relationship thing, could be, the way you talk to yourself. So just think about it briefly. Just have a strong wish to refrain from harming. And then Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would recommend on meditating on emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. And we can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they exist. So now we'll just dedicate all that merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And so then we'll do the chanting the names of Manjushri. The foremost Lord of great munificence, supreme upholder of great discipline, intense supporter of great tolerance, with valor rooted in great diligence, samadhi resting through great meditation, endowed with bodies flowing from great wisdom, both great in strength and great in skillful means, a brimming ocean filled with vows and knowledge, by nature great in kindness, limitless, the foremost mind enriched by great compassion, of great insight, of great intelligence, great dexterous one, with methods ever great. Thank everybody. So let's just have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, for the swift return of precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and then for all of your own individual teachers to live long.